she just gives and gives and gives, and it's great. So here is her introduction. So Tamryn Payne is an actor and voice artist and has been enjoying creating her YouTube channel with storytime videos, which she streams live in the I'm Stuck at Home group every Monday to Thursday. Having always loved Greek mythology, she wanted to find something a bit magical for our evening tonight, and so she chose the little tale. Little tale. I don't know what the little tale is, so please enlighten us.
Hello everyone. Sorry, it's probably a typo, Josh. It's I just said this little tale. It's one of many little Greek tales. I hope that my sound is okay. I'm on this very snazzy microphone. I'm getting the thumbs up from the oracle. That is Sam. Thank you, Sam. Great. It's lovely to be here, everybody. I'll let you into a little secret. I fell asleep. That's how relaxed I am tonight. Oh, look. Ooh, who's that? We've got a magical squirrel, I think. Hello.
Hello there, Mr. Squirrel. Hi, it's Ted here. Nice to see you. It's Ted here from Storytime. Yes, I've become a bit of an internet sensation recently.
Yes, Ted's a bit of a legend now. It's been wonderful doing story time, and it's wonderful to be here. That music was absolutely beautiful. Always blows me away. So thank you, Nathan. And I forget, but I shall for now name you Clarinet Goddess. Thank you very much for your heavenly tunes. So yes, I've been doing all sorts of story time, and I've gone from science to Chekhov to Shakespeare, and fancied going up to the heavens, to the skies, to the gods. And what god to start with, I thought I'd start with love. For where better place to start? So this is the myth of Eros and Psyche. Once upon a time, a long time ago, there lived 3 princesses. Psyche, the youngest, was very kind. She was also very beautiful. She was so beautiful, in fact, that the powerful goddess of love, Aphrodite, became jealous of Psyche. In fear of what the great goddess might do to them if they paid attention to Psyche, all the young men in the kingdom avoided Psyche whenever possible, and none offered to marry her. Her 2 sisters married finally, but Psyche stayed at home with her father. Psyche could not remain at home forever. In those days, girls had to marry someone. Her father consulted Apollo's oracle at Delphi for guidance. You know oracles. Who knows what the oracle actually said? What the king heard was that his beloved daughter should prepare for her death. Sadly, the king took Psyche to the edge of a cliff and left her there. In despair, Psyche might have leapt to her death. Before she could, she felt herself lifted into the air. Zephyrus, the gentle west wind, had taken pity on the girl and gently carried her to a faraway palace, to the home of his good friend, Eros, the lonely god of love. Eros was a handsome young man, but he had a pair of very big wings. He did not wish to scare Psyche. He made himself invisible and warned Psyche, if she valued his love, not to try to catch a glimpse of him. Psyche was treated with great gentleness and good company and much laughter, and soon fell in love with her invisible host. For some time they were blissfully happy, but Psyche longed to see her family. Eros finally agreed to allow her to invite her 2 sisters to his palace. filled with envy at the sight of the palace and the riches it contained, her two sisters maliciously convinced Psyche that she was being fooled, that her husband was a fearsome monster, and that she had to escape. "But he's so kind, so gentle," she argued. "He cannot be a monster. I would know." "He's fooling you, Psyche. Trust us." They returned home, dissatisfied with their own lives and jealous of Psyche's. Psyche cried and cried, but one night she took a lamp in one hand and a dagger in the other and crept into her host's bedroom. Instead of the monster she expected to find, she saw Eros, a handsome young man with 2 white wings. She was not frightened at all. A drop of oil from the lamp she held fell on the sleeping god. He woke instantly. He saw his Psyche leaning over him with a dagger in her hand. With great sorrow, he spread his wings and flew away. Psyche crumbled to the floor. How foolish she had been to listen to her sisters. She ran outside to the river. She threw herself into the water. She expected to drown. But Pan, the god of shepherds, pulled her safely from the water. "Aphrodite is the goddess of love. Ask for her help," Pan advised her. Psyche prayed to Aphrodite for help. Aphrodite was still jealous. She pretended to help her because she was, after all, the goddess of love, but gave Psyche tasks to prove her love for Eros that no mortal could possibly accomplish. Yet Psyche accomplished task after task. Although she did not know it, Psyche was helped by invisible beings sent by Eros, who loved her still and watched over her. At last, Aphrodite told Psyche her final task was to retrieve a box from the underworld, a very special box filled with magical beauty supplies. With these, she could make herself so beautiful that Eros would fall helplessly in love with her. You might think Psyche would be excited, her last task, but Psyche knew she had to die to enter the land of shades. It was hopeless. Suddenly, she heard a voice speaking softly in her ear. It warned her of dangers ahead and what she had to do to retrieve the box without dying. The voice was very clear. Here is what she had to do. 1. Have a coin ready for the toll to the underworld. 2. Bring 3 pieces of sweet bread to give to Cerberus, the 3-headed dog. 3. Do not eat anything, not even a seed. 4. Once you find it, bring the box to Aphrodite without looking inside. And Psyche did everything she was told. She arrived back in the land of light safely. Waiting for Aphrodite to show up, she became nervous. What if it was the wrong box? Psyche opened the box just a crack to peek inside. A foul-smelling cloud poured out. Psyche dropped to the ground as if dead. To save her life, Eros returned to his visible form and prodded her with the point of a golden arrow. She awoke immediately. "Psyche, what am I going to do with you? Will you ever learn?" "I have learned," Psyche said softly. "I've learned that I love you." Eros gathered her into his arms and flew them back to his palace. It took a while, but Eros finally convinced his mother, Aphrodite, to accept Psyche as his wife. With Aphrodite's help, he convinced the great Zeus to admit Psyche to the ranks of the immortal gods. In celebration, Psyche and Eros threw a party at the palace. Apollo played his lyre, Dionysus brought the wine, and all the gods rejoiced. As for Eros and Psyche, they lived happily ever after. I'll just leave you with a little poem by Ralph Waldo Emerson, which is called Eros. The sense of the world is short. long and various the report. To love and be beloved. Men and gods have not outlearned it, and how oft soe'er they've turned it, 'tis not to be improved. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. You do have the greatest voice ever for reading. Thank you. Yeah, amazing. Bye, Ted. I want to try something before I start the meditation. That I want us to go round in a circle, and I want